What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. So excited about this video. If you're new to us
and we're new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell,
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Let's get it.
I understand the concerns of many Barbadians who may feel that they have been robbed of the opportunity of having an appropriate settlement for the reparations that ought to be made as a result of the blood, sweat and tears of Barbadians over centuries. I want to make it clear that this is not a matter that we take lightly.
Recently, there has been a major debate in Barbados regarding the nation's largest landowner and the government. In an unprecedented move that echoes the complexities of historical justice and modern-day politics, the Prime Minister of Barbados has made a bold move by halting a £3 million payout to a sitting United Kingdom Member of Parliament, igniting fierce debates on reparations and historical justice. This contentious decision centers on the Drax Plantation, a site steeped in a dark history of enslaved Africans' brutal exploitation, notorious for its brutal conditions, with an estimated 30,000 enslaved African men, women, and children perishing there over 200 years. The Drax family's involvement extended beyond Barbados, owning slave plantations in Jamaica until the mid-1700s. As the Caribbean island nation grapples with its colonial past and strives for equitable restitution, this case has ignited intense debates on both sides of the Atlantic. In today's video, we uncover the untold story of the Drax family, the controversial land sale, and Barbados Prime Minister Mottley's explosive decision. We'll delve into the intricacies of this decision and examine its implications for historical reparations, international relations, and the ongoing quest for justice in a world still shadowed by imperialism's legacies.
And see, this is why the people who's like, stop talking about it. It was so long ago. Y'all weren't the ones who were slaves. Don't bother me. Because this stuff, they're still benefiting from what our ancestors have gone through. We saw a historical sit-down between the descendants of the slave owner and the enslaved. Here. That was Alabama, huh? The Clotilda.
Alabama. Yeah, correct. Yep. And they wanted to have them, the family was basically trying to receive everything that their ancestors worked for.
Their form of reparation.
Because they had got loads of benefits from that operation. And they're sitting at the table. One's a lawyer, if I wasn't mistaken. Another one had a nice job as well. And their people are just benefiting off of it.
Still benefiting
regardless
from
of how many plots of land they give them, they're still benefiting off of it. So it's like they already got their share, and they already multiplied it to where the revenue is going to be made while they sleep, you know? So.
Y'all know which video to send us.
Y'all
be knowing how to get us riled up. I didn't know this was going on, so this, let's see.
This plantation, once the largest in Barbados, is now a focal point in the global fight for reparations and accountability. If you care about history, justice, and the Caribbean's journey towards equity, you won't want to miss this. Let's get into it. What is the Drax Plantation? Before we dive into the recent controversy surrounding the Drax Plantation, we first need to highlight its history. The estate has belonged to the Drax family since the colonial period, and as early as the 1650s when it was built by James Drax and his brother, William Drax, both early settlers to the region. By 1680, Henry Drax owned the largest plantation in Barbados, then in the parish of St. John. According to historian and Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, chair of CARICOM's Reparations Commission, it is estimated that close to 30,000 enslaved African men, women, and children died on Drax Caribbean plantations over 200 years. By the time official records were kept, there were 275 people enslaved on the plantation, producing 300 tons of sugar and 140 puncheons of rum. This has led him to state that, quote, the Drax family has done more harm and violence to the black people of Barbados than any other. The Drax family also owned slave plantations in Jamaica, which they sold in the mid-1700s. To this date, the Drax estate continues as a sugar plantation, but is closed to the public. Its grounds span much of the eastern landscape of the parish of St. George. The current owner is Sir Richard Plunkett Earl Drax, a current British Parliament member who inherited the property after generations. Drax is one of the wealthiest MPs in the United Kingdom House of Commons and is said to be worth at least £150 million. By the way, if you're enjoying this video and finding it valuable, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Sale of the plantation. This is the context behind recent developments where the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mottley, halted plans to purchase the plantation from MP Richard Drax. The Barbados government released a plan in early 2024 to acquire the land from Richard Drax to build new lower and middle-income housing estates for Barbadians. The 53-acre site was elected to develop 500 houses to support the administration's pledge to build 10,000 homes to meet demand on the island. Back in October 2022, Drax went into Barbados to meet Mottley, and it was understood that he was asked to hand over all or a substantial part of the Drax Hall plantation for reparations.
Give it back.
However, in a later broadcast, Mottley made it clear she was not happy with the pace at which discussions were proceeding. She said the government of Barbados was
she go hard,
examining...
bro. Man, we gotta give a shout out to Myrie because he actually went to the Barbados and he was able to have a conversation with her, and that's how we was able to get that interaction there. And now you guys are sending more videos with her in it, and she's doing a great job, bro. She's fighting for the people. Over 500 housing for income people where they can live comfortably and get off the streets and get off whatever the situation they're in. All because the Drax family have been benefiting for generations.
Land just sitting there.
Land just sitting there.
Oh wait, it's still being used.
Well, no, it's sitting there.
Well, yeah.
But they're using it for the same benefit.
Yeah.
As it is still just sitting there though. But that is land. While you have people who obviously are descendants of,
and they're in need.
Their family who was once working on that land. It's crazy, bro.
Barbados not that big.
It's crazy.
Legal options, quote, not only against the owners of Drax Plantation, but also all others who have contributed to examples of modern racism in the Americas. Therefore, it came as a surprise when, in April 2024, the government of Barbados stated it would purchase the agricultural land with an alternative use for housing at about Barbados $150,000 per acre, or US $75,000. At this price, the 21 hectares could net the Drax family close to 8.2 million Barbadian dollars, or 4.1 million US dollars. Anger about the payout plan and reversal. The payout plan had angered those involved in the Caribbean reparations movement, who said Drax, the MP for South Dorset, should hand over all or part of the 617-acre plantation to the people of Barbados and quickly gain traction throughout Barbados and the region. Members of the public pushed back against the massive payout to a former slave plantation family and demanded resolution through the reparation discussions underway between the two parties. This led to the reversal of the decision by the Mottley administration, and the government paused the purchase of land. In a broadcast to the nation, Prime Minister Mottley explained the government's U-turn and said she had decided to pause the purchase to allow further discussion. She added,
I understand the concerns of many Barbadians who may feel that they have been robbed of the opportunity of having an appropriate settlement for the reparations that ought to be made as a result of the blood, sweat and tears of Barbadians over centuries. I want to make it clear that this is not a matter that we take lightly.
While MP Richard Drax...
but you can only imagine how difficult this whole process is. You're talking to a family who have been over this land for years,
generations,
decades, and it's like it's not that simple for them to say, "Oh yeah, here you go." Why? Because they understand what they was doing, and I think most people are standing on that. You know what I'm saying? And it's a sick way for them to go off about it, but at the same time, that's who they are. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and you don't want to get the short end of the stick.
No, you gotta get
what you deserve, and
right.
And how do you accurately put a price on what we deserve? You know, and again,
you gotta ask the right questions.
Right.
Yeah.
Not directly respond to the situation. He has acknowledged in the past the role his ancestors played in the slave trade and stated it was, quote, deeply, deeply regrettable, but no one can be held responsible today for what happened many hundreds of years ago. Now let's discuss the debate around reparations. This decision by the Barbados Prime Minister underscores the bigger complexity of addressing historical wrongs in a contemporary context. It brings to the forefront the moral and financial responsibilities of former colonial powers and their descendants, illuminating a path for other nations grappling with similar histories. In the current global landscape, discussions around reparations have gained significant momentum, driven by movements advocating for the recognition and rectification of historical injustices. From all around the Caribbean region to Africa and within the United States, marginalized communities are calling for accountability and compensation for centuries of exploitation and systemic oppression. Emerging from this movement is the Caribbean Reparations Commission, a regional body created to establish the moral, ethical, and legal case for the payment of reparations by the governments of all the former colonial powers and the relevant institutions of those countries to the nations and people of the Caribbean community for the atrocities of the transatlantic slave trade. The case of Drax Plantation is emblematic of this wider struggle, where the legacy of slavery and colonialism is not just a historical footnote, but a living reality that continues to shape socio-economic disparities. This act by Barbados is more than a national stance. It is a call to the international community to re-examine and address the inequities born out of colonial histories. So, what is next? What is next for the government of Barbados and the Drax family? Following the halt of the £3 million payout, the government of Barbados is likely to take several strategic steps to further its commitment to reparative justice. First, the government has indicated it will return to the table to achieve an amicable agreement on the redistribution of the land on the Drax estate, including reparations for the family's role during the colonial period. Prime Minister Mottley also stated that the country is keen to engage in comprehensive dialogues with international bodies and former colonial powers to advocate for broader support and acknowledgement of reparations. Regarding the lower and middle income housing development, the project has been paused until further notice. However, the government remains committed to its housing initiatives and has continued building housing on other land. But whatever the outcome regarding the future of the Drax plantation, rest assured Caribbean Focus will continue to highlight the issues pressing to the Caribbean and the diaspora. If you have thoughts on the Drax plantation controversy, we'd love to hear from you. Do you think the Barbados government made the right decision by halting the payout? What are your views on reparations for historical injustices? Share your opinions in the comments below.
We're gonna stop right there. Make sure you go check his channel out. For the Barbados people, I do believe reparation will be like an unending hamster wheel effect. Cause first of all, we're talking about over 500 housing. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than just the finances. It's about so much more things that's gonna have the people rise. And when they start rising, then they start to get in places and locations and offices and buildings, and they can start making changes that they want to see happen where their people can thrive as well. And not just be on the short end of the stick. Because who want to be on the short end of the stick for all their life? Right. No one wants that, bro. It just don't make sense. So, yeah, I would love to see them receive the housing as a start of them getting the ball rolling. Right, and not a short-term solution either. At all. You know, something that will last generations as long as we have received the legacy of what our ancestors went through. Our children need to see the legacy of how it was rectified. Yeah. I love to see the person who is the head of Barbados at the table speaking about reparations, because we don't see it here. Yeah. Of course, in one state, I believe. I think it was a little bit more than one state, but you know, it has not made it to the federal level of anything actually happening for us here. So I love to see her have this plan in motion. Yeah, she's doing a great thing. Yeah. All right, y'all. We hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Be sure to subscribe. We'll see you soon. Peace.